Thank you for using Dodo Airlines. Please be sure to collect your Nook miles as you exit the plane.
Oh, finally, I'm on my own island. I can't wait to meet all the new animals and really get a part of this island lifestyle.
This way, everybody, you're being detained. You're being detained right now, everybody, this way.
Oh, sir, what's going on?
Sir, there has been talk about a virus infection on the island, and we're going to have to detain you for 2 weeks. And this means no bug catching, no catching fish, no making camp, and especially no talking to Filbert.
Sorry, what was that last one again?
No talking to Filbert.
But I'm so close to Filbert. I've come all this way.
It doesn't matter, sir. Get in the room.
But I need to see Filbert.
Get in the room. Now, sir.
I love you, Filbert. I'll see you in 2 weeks. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 135 are open. Joining me this week is the wonderful blue-shirted Bryce DeWitt. How we going, man?
Blue-shirted.
You're red-shirted.
Yes. Yeah, it's a bit confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit confusing. Maybe I'm colorblind.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe I'm just blind in general.
You could be.
I could be.
You don't even know what I look like, do you?
No.
No, that's what I thought.
No.
Yeah.
Are you like one of those monsters that sort of takes form as a human, but you're actually like something else, like a vampire or something?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Is that what you are?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I think that makes a lot of sense to all of us.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been a bloody crazy week, really. I'm like sort of last week we recorded an episode and there's not much news. But until the next day, it came out Reggie was joining GameStop. So that's pretty crazy. But just everything in like the real world, as far as health and all that goes, it's just been absolutely crazy,
mental even. Yeah. Hell of a lot going on.
So it's even gotten to the point where it's like affecting like just big events down here, let alone stuff like E3 and stuff in the gaming industry. I know a lot of us sort of pay attention to, but yeah, just like, the field days, concerts, everything's just going.
Obviously, we don't want to talk about it too much, but it has inevitably caused a hell of a lot of chaos. Even just looking at Italy, Italy's probably the worst affected of the entire world at the moment. They've got people in the halls of hospitals for treatment. Obviously, it's probably going to hurt a lot of the gaming industry as we go forward too. Like even just now, E3 cancelled and GDC, I believe it was.
Yeah. That was a week. Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, that being cancelled and just. We've got events of our own that we go to. We got PAX at the end of the year, and we've got AvCon even sooner than that. And it's a wonder if they'll even be, attendable because a lot of the bands are going through, and not allowed to be gatherings of more than 500 people. And obviously, those events kind of garner like thousands of people passing through. So
yeah, it's going to get worse before it gets better. But we'll see how it goes come July when AvCon in Adelaide is. Yeah, speaking of which, I actually went to Adelaide this weekend and I was actually like a little bit, I couldn't think, like it was always in the back of my mind. Yeah. Like always, like I washed my hands like so many times. I think on the hour I went to the toilet and like washed my hands.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Like it's just like, and like I was at a birthday party, friend's birthday party, and like meeting new people, and like they like put their hand out for like a handshake. And like you're like, oh man.
There's a handshake ban, man. You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's difficult. But like, as far as like the city went in Adelaide, it didn't look like there was any difference. This weekend.
No,
like there was no. Like I was out late at night, so there was plenty of people out and about drinking and all that. Like you couldn't tell that there was a pandemic on.
Yeah. I suppose at this stage, it's also probably a little bit harder to run into somebody that's got an infection. Like an actual close infection, but going down the line, that's going to turn into like, one one or two people have interacted that person, and those two people go to different places, and then they infect two people each, and that's how it grows. So at the moment, it's pretty quiet, but I know that Australia's not doing a very good job at premeditating contamination. So we kind of just got to be more vigilant in how we're dealing with it. Italy being the prime example, apparently Australia is currently at where Italy was 20 days ago.
Right, yeah.
So give it 20 days and we could be looking at Italy numbers, which is in the tens of thousands, and that's not good. So anybody that, cares about not spreading it and all that, just make sure you have self-hygiene incorporated and try to not get too close to people.
I hope that's most people.
Well, I don't know. You meet some pretty shady people.
Yeah, I know. Oh, trust me, I know. You're talking to one of them.
Gross.
Yeah.
You come back with it.
Yeah, well, I said to Bryce, like, do you want to do the podcast remotely? Because I came back from the city and I could have brought something back with me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I trust you, but I trust you to be vigilant, so here I am. If I get coronavirus and die, I'm blaming you.
Yeah, and die.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I was about to ask how are your lungs, but they're all right, aren't they?
They're okay.
No, that's all right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, sort of when I was putting together sort of the layout for this show, I don't want to talk about coronavirus and everything that's going on too much. I do want this to be a bit of escapism for people, because on the way up to Adelaide, it was like a 4.5 hour trip, so I got a lot of time listening to podcasts, and most of the trip up, I'm listening to talk about coronavirus, and rightfully so. It's on the tip of everyone's tongue.
It's important,
and yeah, it is very important. And there's some big news stories we want to lump together and talk about how it's affected the gaming industry and Nintendo as a company and a developer. But for the most part, Animal Crossing is coming up. Let's talk about some fun things, just to take your mind off of it for an hour. Maybe us as well.
Yeah,
because I'm sure you've talked about it plenty with lots of people.
Oh, not really. The only person I'm I'll talk to my mother or mother-in-law about it, and then I'll talk to my partner about it, but my partner doesn't want to hear a bar of it, so it's like...
Doesn't want to hear about it?
Yeah.
Because it's on the TV and that all the time, so...
Yeah, because the media, to be fair, Murdoch media is absolutely just going nuts and, like, making it seem like a lot worse than it probably actually is. But
got to sell newspapers, man, so...
Well, that's right, yeah, that's what it is too, it's selling newspapers, but at the same time, like, it is... It's kind of a hard conundrum because you've got the people who are absolutely exacerbated because of the media, but then you've got the people who are on the opposite spectrum, like, oh my god, the media is just blowing this up, when it really should be a middle ground of like, there's too much going on, but we should probably be careful for the sake of others around us that don't have like greater lungs or whatever may have you. Like, we should still be careful. It's like, yes, it is influenza 2.0 to its own degree, but be mindful of others, people, and that's kind of like the...
Just at the stage we're at, it's a very good idea just to wash your hands a lot. Make sure you have a good scrub in the shower. Visit the shops as least as possible.
Yeah, that's
Get the essentials. Buy one thing of toilet paper, for fuck's sakes.
Yes, please.
Don't
and hand sanitizer.
Yeah, don't fill up your trolley with milk. That's weird. People don't have that big a freezer for all that milk, let alone the meat and other stuff you have in there. Don't do that.
Speaking of people overstocking, did you hear that somebody's selling hand sanitizer for like $100 a bottle?
Yeah, I did.
What the fuck?
That's disgusting.
That's
not cool.
Yeah. First of all, everybody, I know hand sanitizer is great and all, and it's like pretty efficient, but soap works just as well. So don't buy $100 bottles of hand sanitizer.
No. You got to save that money for Animal Crossing later this week.
Well, that's right. Yeah, you
just get some normal soap. You'll be fine.
Don't buy one bottle of hand sanitizer. Get Animal Crossing. It's kind of a win-win.
It is.
Yeah. So just don't buy hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
just buy soap.
Even Animal Crossing's not safe. Even I got quarantined on the island. So
yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. And another thing I wanted to bring up. So when I went to Adelaide, there was a friend of ours up there. He said, he asked me like, how's the podcast going? I'm like, oh yeah, good. And he's like, this website I go to quoted you guys.
Oh shit.
no, don't jump onto it right yet. And I looked at him and went, quoted us. Because if anyone's listened to a couple of episodes of the House of Mario, so how the hell they quote us? We're quoting other people in their articles.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, we're not breaking news stories. That's weird. So he said it was like express.com.co or express.co.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's definitely not a thing. Surely.
No, it's not a thing. So basically, in the article, just going back, where I got the name for the House of Mario is the House of Mario is just a nickname for Nintendo.
Yes.
A lot of journalists, they can't just say Nintendo 1,000 times in an article, so they say the Big N, the House of Mario, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So in this article, they just said, the House of Mario did this. Whatever I think it was talking about Breath of the Wild sales or something from whenever.
Yeah.
So it's like House of Mario sold this many copies of The Legend of Zelda. I'm like, yeah, okay. Because like it's a thing that I haven't seen around in a long time. I remember reading it all the time, like the House of Mario. And when we were coming up for a name for a podcast, that just came to my mind straight away.
It's perfect, yeah.
Yeah. And we're not just a Mario podcast. That is just a nickname for Nintendo, the House of Mario.
Yeah. That's right.
And we liked it, so we called us that. Mm-hmm. So, yes, if you see the House of Mario, we're not being quoted.
No.
Because I could just imagine, like, some sites, like, quoting us, like, oh, Bryce, like, don't know, said something dumb and Drew followed up with something even stupider. And
yeah, we've become the PewDiePies of podcasting.
PewDiePies of That'll be all right. You mean numbers-wise or just, like, just dumb?
If we had numbers-wise, we could have retired a year ago.
Retire, yeah. Yeah. Yes, well. So there's that. I don't think I've actually ever brought that up on the show before, where the name comes from, the House of Mario.
No, you would have brought it up a couple of times.
Probably.
We've done 130-something episodes of this show now. I can't remember the exact number.
Oh, I literally just said it.
I know you did.
It's 135.
Yeah, there you go. So, like,
yeah, I know.
We've done a lot of it.
We've done a fair few episodes.
And I don't think we're that popular, but...
No one likes us.
We're still sort of there.
Yeah, we're definitely there, Bryce, in some capacity. So, Bryce, let's move away from some of this talk, at least for a little bit, before we get into the news sort of segment. We won't double on it too long in the news segment either. But we finally got some time with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team. What's it called? Deluxe, whatever. That's what we're going with. So basically, after we recorded the podcast last time, I edited it, put it up to the cloud to be available on podcast services. Then I sat down with Mystery Dungeon and played it to about 2:00 in the morning. Mm-hmm. Really, really, really enjoyed myself. It's just like the perfect game for me at the moment. What I'm after, something not too complicated or anything, and something pretty familiar.
Yeah,
but something just like grind in, which we were talking about last week as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I found myself not doing a whole lot of the story. I've put about 8 hours into the game. So far, but I'm just like redoing rescue missions just to grind up my rank.
Yep.
I've gotten my rank to like silver or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And like, that's just like doing that, getting money. So I'm really, really enjoying the game, just going in there and
smashing out some missions and
yeah. What I've found though, you know how the sort of the hunger system works, where you've got to eat an apple or a big apple or something to replenish your hunger. I seem to be finding a lot less apples, and it seems to be getting in the way a lot more than I remember it being. Has that really been happening with you, or
no? So I just make sure when I've done side missions and stuff like that, I go to the Kangaskhan box every now and then and just refresh it, and then I've got like a specific amount of stuff that I take out every time. It's like 4 apples, then 4 orange berries, 2 of each status recovery, 4 reviver seeds or so, and then the rest of it's like ethers.
I think I was just grinding on a location that just didn't have any apples. So then I eventually ran out, and I was still going. Yeah. So I think that was my problem. Like because there's the place I'm on now, like you can find big apples pretty often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just want to touch on as well, Sam Hay in the Discord, he basically asked whether the game was like complicated. Because I guess if you look at it and it's just like grid-based and you're not used to sort of that type of combat, you might be like, oh, what's this game all about? But it's very, very basic.
It's very simple. And if you know Pokemon, it's pretty easy to wrap your head around. It's like
yeah.
you know your type advantages and disadvantages and all that stuff. It's very basic Pokemon, and it's good. It doesn't it doesn't always hold your hand. I guess there is like some pieces of content in that game where you get stuck for a bit and you're like, crap. Like at the moment, there's a particular scene where you can't go back to town for a few dungeons. So it's like if you're not leveled up enough, you have the option to take a leveling route where you can sort of just level up until you think, oh, I'm ready. But then, you start to run low on supplies. So you got to try and blaze through it and still beat the boss at the end of the dungeons because there's like 3 or 4 bosses there that you've really, got to be prepared for, but you've got no way to stop in town. And the only access you have is whatever's in the dungeon and whatever you've got stored in your box. So if you're not confident you're going to make it through, well, you're going to struggle a bit. And there's a couple of dungeons like that in Mystery Dungeon where you're like, well, that's where the difficulty is. That's, sort of around about the midway point of the story, and that's like the first real roadblock. And then after that, when you get to the end game, you've got the 99 floor dungeon where you start at level 5 and
you actually go up the level. And I noticed there was a tip that actually tells you about it before you finish the game too. Yeah, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, because it actually reminded me of it. I'm like, oh yeah,
that is the end game challenge right there. Like it's for you to test, how well you manage your resources and how you space out your leveling and how you use specific items to get you through real tough measures. It's the real challenge of the game. And like you don't have to do any grinding at all for that. You can literally just go all the way through. And speaking of the tidbits, actually, something that I never noticed before, evolving your Pokemon doesn't do anything in Mystery Dungeon.
Oh, really?
Except give them new moves.
Huh.
No stat increases.
No stats. Okay.
So you don't even have to, apparently.
Yeah, right. Because you only get to evolve once you have finished the game.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And the problem with evolving is that
they don't talk.
Afterwards. Yeah. It can, well, they do talk, but only not through text boxes, no pictures.
Not like they used to.
Yeah.
Where it was like, because...
Where you'd have like a picture to go along with it that showed their emotion and all that stuff, yeah.
Okay. I never really thought about it much, but yeah, I just assumed there would be a stat increase because that's what happens when they evolve. So, yeah.
No, apparently the only thing you can change is what moves they learn, which is not necessarily a huge deal anyway, because a lot of the moves that you will be using are in TMs.
Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with the moves I've got now. Actually, I did the quiz. I got Totodile, and I chose Torchic as my partner, and I called my partner Chantel. And I actually showed her. She's like, "Oh, that's so lame and cute." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." So, who did you get in the quiz? I haven't actually asked you.
I got Trico, but I was like, no.
Oh, I played through both the DS versions of the game with Trico. A lot of fun.
I'm not going through that game as Trico. I could not think of anything more annoying.
What about Psyduck?
I would find that less annoying.
Why do you find Trico annoying?
Because that game is set up to absolutely screw grass types by the time you hit that marker that I'm talking about. Because all the bosses you have to fight, you're totally and 100% vulnerable against, and you aren't good against them in any measure.
I remember it being really handy because you had like Absorb and Giga Drain and stuff, so you could get back your health pretty easy. Yeah,
but that doesn't really save you from those bosses. And like if I wanted to get through the game at a relatively decent pace, that means I would have to not grind and because I want to be ready for Animal Crossing, so I want to try and finish the game.
I'm the same way, yeah. So
at least
I've got to get moving.
And I don't want to sit there and friggin' grind the crap out of Trico just trying to get a decent measure on how I'm going to beat these bosses, because you can't recruit anything during then either. So if you're weak,
that's fair enough. Yeah.
You're stuffed. Picking it's been an infamous thing in Pokemon where picking grass types has always been like somewhat of a bad decision because you get screwed early on. But in this case, it's especially so because the middle section of the game can be such a roadblock, even when you're at a type advantage, that it's not worth picking the disadvantage.
I'm just picturing someone listening to this and they're not up to that section and they've got their Turtwig or it won't be Turtwig, but they're grass type, and they're like, oh no.
By all means, if you want a challenge out of it, it's a good challenge because you will definitely be in for a challenge, and there is benefits to having a grass type later on in the game. But during that midsection, that's where you're going to really suffer. That's like your first real big hurdle.
Yeah, it's like all types. Obviously, you're going to run into a roadblock eventually with your type combination of you and your partner.
Yeah.
But I guess just at the point you're talking about, that is one of the harder points of the game, and that
during the story, it is. Yeah,
and that disadvantage comes then. It's like,
yeah.
But yeah,
really you just want to push forward and get more Pokemon and do things.
I played through the original game of Trico, and I can't. It was a long time ago. I can't remember much, to be honest, but I can't remember too much about running into a roadblock with Trico, but yeah.
You probably did a bit of grinding before you actually went on and moved on then.
Yeah, I might have, yeah.
Like, that's the thing, is that if I had the time and knowing that Animal Crossing is coming out this week, I probably would have went fine with Trico and just went with it, but no.
Yeah,
not in this
like
scenario.
grinding isn't too bad. You get the Makahita dojo, so you go there and you do. If you get a gold ticket, you got up to a minute just to beat as many enemies as you can, and you level up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not too bad if you're like, you pick them up pretty regularly through chests from Pokemon that Pokemon drop when you beat them and stuff. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, but I just want to get in there and I want to finish the game before Animal Crossing comes out. I've already got a backlog. I don't need that on backlog either, especially since I've already finished it before. I'll just beat it.
You're preaching to the choir here, my friend.
Oh, trust me, yeah. I'm pretty sure we both do. I went and bought up a second like a little care kit for my Switch a while back because I was like, and it was like the same one that I got my Switch when I first got it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's half price. I'll pick it up just literally for the game cases. And
okay. You're running out.
Since I've started really slacking on games again, I've filled up those two cases I got in that care package, and I haven't finished.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you just carry around games you need to play in that, and you're just running out of room?
Yeah. It's a real problem.
You're like me, but except with me, it's SD cards. Like, I better get a 400. I haven't finished any of these games.
I tell you what, I need the internet to go down for a month. Like,
oh, yeah, you're not wrong.
Just everywhere, like nobody has internet access. They only have phone access or something. Because in that month, I would get so much shit done.
You might not have the internet drop out, but you might have everything else drop out. It would bring you down. Sorry, man. Sorry, buddy.
It would honestly make me free up my own time so much more, so I can actually go and finish these games that I purchased.
It happened to you with Persona, didn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, got through Persona.
And well, even then, like, I at the time I was like, hell yeah, I'm playing the shit out of this game. I love this game. It's a fantastic game. Everybody should play this game. But if I had the internet, I would have finished that a hell of a lot later than what I did. Thanks to the internet. Like, the internet does really slow down my game time.
Thanks, internet.
Yeah, thanks, internet. Fuck me.
Yeah. So I was thinking, can you remember who, through the Mystery Dungeon quiz at the start, who you got in the original Mystery Dungeon? Who did you originally get?
I don't know.
Because I originally, just doing it naturally, went through and got Squirtle in the original Mystery Dungeon. And now I went through it again, did it naturally, and I got Totodile. I'm like, that's interesting, like, because it was someone different. Obviously, different questions each time. It can work out differently.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
But yeah, I just found it interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't particularly remember one, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, I manipulated it anyway and picked the Pokemon I wanted because screw that noise.
Yeah, I did too for the original one. But this one, I was just like, as long as I get one of the starters, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go with like
Psyduck
or
something. Meowth.
Hey, going through the game with Meowth, I don't know about that.
If you want a challenge.
If you want to challenge it, but it's not even the challenge bit. It's just like, a bit too whatever,
Yeah, well, normal types don't do much throughout the entire game, so.
So what would make it real interesting if you could choose like a Porygon, and like they come up to you like, oh no, I need you to save me, and like he's like, it's just like a computer noise.
Christ. Anyway, your point.
Yeah, no, I don't have a point. That was all.
All right, well, you should be able to pick your Porygon in this one. And you go pick up your Porygon and it's got all its evolutions.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that one?
Oh, well, Porygon Z's in this, but there's a no shiny version of it, which is a little bit disappointing. One of my favourite shinies in that one.
There's 27 shinies in the game.
Speaking of shinies, Bryce, tell us your story.
I found the shiny Rapidash on first attempt. And
Yeah, so he actually
recruit it.
Yeah, he actually found a shiny Rapidash on the first attempt, and it didn't recruit.
I was so very
Because there's a random chance or whether Pokemon you defeat get recruited into your team.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually found it. I we got no idea what the actual percentage.
Rates are.
Yeah,
I
the
can't
rates.
find them anyway.
Yeah, like Cerebi doesn't have them, and yeah.
So I hope it wasn't stupid rare because, oh my God. I'm so sad.
Did you take a screenshot or anything?
No, I looked at it. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, that is shiny. I'm like, don't tell me that's just like a dark edge of the screen discoloration that game has at times. You know how they're sort of like closer to the shadow and it looks like a little bit darker than usual.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it come back into full view. I'm like, no, that's a grey main. That's a grey flame main. That is mine. Please.
And you had the area or the camp set up for it, did you?
Yeah, well, it's a basic camp area, so I'm pretty sure you can recruit it pretty much immediately.
You do have to buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You do?
Yeah,
Okay.
you do.
Yeah, well, I definitely, if it was one of the cheaper ones, I definitely had it.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, because I was actually I was up late at night in bed, trying to find it because that was the place I was grinding my rank up in, and I'm like, oh, here's the Rapidash. Oh no, beat it, didn't recruit it. Beat it, don't recruit it. Like I keep going. When I get a message from Bryce, like no, and like straight away I knew exactly what he's on about because I don't know what else he's doing at night where he's like that heartbroken. I don't know. He could have dropped an anvil on his toe or something and just sent a message to me like, no, my toe hurts. I don't know. But yeah, just bad luck, Bryce. Hashtag bad luck, Bryce.
I really hope that it comes back.
I hope it comes back. I hope that unicorn man comes back.
I hope so.
That pretty horse.
I hate that it's only the strong Pokemon.
Makes sense.
That kind of annoys me.
Yeah, it makes a little bit of sense.
A little bit of sense.
Yeah, it makes a little bit of sense.
I mean, like, you could go, like, not even 4 dungeons down and you can go and get a shiny Metagross and it feels relatively unfair.
I've only seen the Rapidash. I haven't actually come across the other strong Pokemon in the dungeons.
I haven't come across a Metagross, but I've come across most of them in the dungeon. I want the Ampharos.
Yeah, Ampharos would be nice, yeah. Shiny Metagross would be pretty sick to have in your team, though.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
the ideas of shinies in this game...
God. I had bad flashbacks of, like, the Metagross and Skypillar in the second one. Second mystery dungeon.
Oh, yeah.
How they used to fly over, like, the little patches in the ground and they used to chase the fuck out of you. Oh, my God.
They're scary things, aren't they?
Oh, and they hit, like, trucks, too.
You're holding down B and you're just, like, zooming real fast through the dungeon and there's, like, right behind you. Ah!
You see this Metagross about to tap your butt. Holy crap.
About to tap your butt.
About to tap your butt. Oh, my God.
So have you been playing anything else on Switch, Bryce?
No. I really want to get through Mystery Dungeon before Animal Crossing. I don't think I will at this stage. I think I've probably got my wits against me.
Actually, I have been playing a little bit of stuff on Switch. When I went to Adelaide for Seamus's birthday, who, you know, Seamus has been on the show before, and he actually rented out a cinema for 3 hours to play games on.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and we played we just played all Switch there. We had our PlayStations and that there, but we just played basically Mario Kart, Smash, and Jack. And it was really cool playing on the cinema screen, but the cinema is like set up for 24 frames, like for movies. So it's really easy to sort of notice it when you're playing like something like Smash. And we all had like the single Joy-Con. The frame rate was like pretty ordinary, but it was big, so it was fun.
Colors weave into a spiral of frames.
Yeah, pretty much. But that was really cool. So that's as far as I've got to say on that. But that was the first time I played Smash on a single Joy-Con as well. I'll never do it again.
I could not think of anything worse. Holy crap! I'd break one Joy-Con.
So I was playing as King Dedede the most of the time.
King Dedede.
And I moved to I changed my character to Link, and in 8-player Smash on like the big screen didn't even help, but I could not see Link Could not see him. I like lost your lives. I'm like, where the hell is he? I could not find him. And like my name wasn't Drew or whatever. It was just like the random name that I chose from his list. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh no. So I went back to DDD and didn't use any shield. Just did a big hammer, smack him around. Yeah, got me a couple of games, but lost me a fair few more games than that. Yeah.
Poor bugger.
Yes, thanks, Bryce. So, Bryce, are we ready to move into the news, or are we ready to...
Yeah. Let's go ahead.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go, boy.
Let's go, motherfucker.
Woohoo! Yeah! Pika, pika! Is that all?
I fight for my friends.
Yahoo!
My body is still
Holy macaroni and cheese, Bryce. There's a lot of news this week.
I'll be damned if I don't do that every time, by the way. I have to say I fight for my friends at the same time.
It's so catchy.
So
I love
fight
Ike.
So I fight for my friends.
I
Remember back in the days of Brawl where he was there, and then he'd slam his sword in the ground and be like, "I fight for my friends." It's not like I fight for my friends. It's like I fight for my friends.
Yeah, what context is that in? What's he like? What's he up to? Is he like?
I fight for my friends.
Is he on the battlefield, or is he just like having the coffee or something? Yeah, no, I'll fight for my friends. I definitely do.
I fight for my friends.
I'll fight for them.
But, he's like slamming his sword in the ground. He's like, he's not. I fight for my friends. He's I fight for my friends.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. Friends are good, Bryce. I'd fight for you.
I fight for my friends.
All right, so speaking of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Bryce, we're going to move into this one, which is from NintendoLife.com.
Ooh.
And it's titled, The Next Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Patch Will Fix a Game-Breaking Glitch. And I didn't know there was a game-breaking glitch in this.
Oh.
But this is a statement from Nintendo. So the patch fixes a game-breaking glitch that occurs in dungeons with a fixed party. It occurs when the protagonist and their partner are defeated in the dungeon, and you remove the third Pokemon from your team. To avoid the issue, simply refrain from moving the third party member. If you have already and cannot play anymore as a result, the update will allow you to play the game. Yeah, so I didn't know anything about that until I read it, but
That's strange.
I've had a couple of times where I didn't have any apples, and my partners have died, so I could have run into that glitch. Yeah. So just a FYI, if you're playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, do the update in case you run into that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the old Wii days where you've got to message in your or send in your save file and they've got to patch it themselves.
Yeah.
Switch has come a long way, Bryce. Thank God.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
If you can connect to the internet
And get patches.
and get patches.
Oh my god.
Nintendo's come a long way, ladies and gentlemen. It's fantastic.
I love me Nintendo.
Do you? Oh, I don't really.
Shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really is. So this is a big story, Bryce, but we'll talk about it a little bit. Nintendo responds to the cancellation of E3 2020 and says it will consider various ways to engage with its fans. This article also comes from Nintendo Life, and this is Nintendo's statement regarding its E3 plans. Nintendo supports the ESA's decision to cancel this year's E3 to help protect the health and safety of everyone in our industry, our fans, our employees, our exhibitors, and our long-time E3 partners. We would like to express our concern and support all those affected by the coronavirus outbreak during this challenging time. We'll continue to be flexible and redirect our efforts to other ways of keeping our fans up to date about our activities and products. Because of COVID-19 outbreak, large industry events may be unable for the foreseeable future, but we are considering various ways to engage with our fans, and we will have more to share as the year continues.
Basically, they're saying, "Hey, we'll have more directs."
Yeah.
Yeah. I because obviously public gatherings aren't going to be a thing, so it'll just be more directs.
Yeah. So just on the Nintendo side of things, for you and I, nothing's going to change. Nintendo was going to have a direct anyway. Nintendo was one of the companies that started doing digital events long before any other sort of gaming company. So in some ways, this year, a lot of these companies are going to be sort of looking at Nintendo Directs to sort of gauge of what they should do for sort of their events. So for you and I, Bryce, something's going to change. We're going to sit here. We're going to say, this is a new game coming out. Yay! I'll put it in my calendar. Fantastic. I'll put some pennies aside, and all of that. But it's going to be like all the indie developers and all the partners and everyone that meets at this event. That it's just not going to happen.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm upset about it because it's like a yearly event thing for us, at least. We sit down, we watch E3 and what's going on and stuff like that, and now all of a sudden it's not a thing.
Mm.
There goes one of our yearly traditions. The only time that we've missed it in the last, God, I'd like to say about 7 years. The only time we've missed it in the last 7 years is when you went on holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Missed it watching it together.
Yeah.
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 Well, we're still going to get that. We're going to get digital events. It's just going to be interesting whether it's Microsoft, even who knows, Sony, Nintendo, Square Enix, Ubisoft, EA, whether they all plan to do these events they're planning together.
I would like to see them do that. I would like to see like a digital event E3. That would be cool because then you don't lose the magic of it.
The ESA has talked about sort of collaborating and organising a digital event to sort of get all this information together.
Yeah.
But without that event there, without sort of dedication to floor space or an event, there's sort of no reason for them to do it together.
No, because there's no profit to be made or anything like that. But I just think for the sake of tradition, I like it's been a thing every year since what? When was the first E3? It was in the 80s, wasn't it?
I don't think it was that far back.
I think it was.
Probably was actually, yeah, because Pokemon Red and Blue were at E3. That was 94. So yeah, probably was.
Yeah. So it's like either late 80s or early 90s. It's been a tradition for nearly 30 years.
PlayStation 1 was announced at a little press conference at an E3.
Yeah. That's nearly 30 years. It's like it's a weird thing to just let go one year and be like, oh, it's not happening.
I'm happy it is though, because if I was at IGN or GameSpot or one of these, someone who's like in charge of all right, you're going to E3. You couldn't do that with a clear conscience.
No, I 100% agree with that, and I don't think that should be the case. But I do think that holding a digital event in spite of that, and just have like a couple people who are running like a Twitch channel and being like, so what did you think? They're coming off it like a treehouse. So it's like, oh, this is Microsoft's event. What did you think? And they're like, oh yeah, they talked about it or whatever, and it's just like, we'll be having short interviews with people over, even just chats or whatever, like, I don't know, like Phil Spencer or whatever, they're talking to, or Doug Bowser and whatever. They have those little tidbits in between, and then be like, coming up next is Sony's.
It's Sony's. Yeah.
And they do that over the course of like a day and a half rather than an entire weekend.
I think places like IGN will do that if these events are in the same radius of one another. They'll still do that type of thing, but
I hope so.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun to watch.
I think it is beneficial for other companies, like for this time of year for E3. It is beneficial for them to do it together because for a long time when I was a kid, I would watch Nintendo's. That would be like my main hype for that.
Yeah,
and I would stick around for Microsoft and Sony's. And now I've grown up, I'm just as excited for those conferences because I'm, a customer of their products as well. And so that sort of happened just through checking out their stuff while I was waiting for something I was interested in.
I feel like E3 is probably a little bit like it's good for consumerism in some ways too. Like I feel like a bit like benefited PlayStation a lot in the generation that PS4 hit in the year that PS4 hit. Like that really helped. That year was an absolute flop for Microsoft, and it made PlayStation soar like right out the gate. And
because they just made them look stupid.
Yes, yeah. And that's the thing is like for consumerism reasons, those things are good to have because it lets us know what kind of a product we're getting, and it lets us know lets them know where they're fucking up by fan reaction. And like if we don't have that, because a lot of people tune in E3 even if they aren't consumers, just because it's E3. It's the biggest gaming event of the year, and everything gets announced there, and it's the biggest overall conglomerative effort. So not having that this year, especially coming into a new generation, is going to be very confusing.
Yeah, it's going
to be a very confusing time because we're going to be hearing conflicting reports all over the place, and that info's just gonna, it's not gonna work. That's why when Sony, because I assume Sony pulled out to go with their states of play in Leo of looking at Nintendo going, everybody seems to hype up these directs. Maybe we can do something similar, but obviously they haven't done as well.
Yeah, I would imagine with on Sony's side of things, they'll be doing like a, well, maybe not now, but I think their plan was to do like a more of a live show, get press and journalists there, and announce the PlayStation 5 whenever that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously now I highly doubt it'll be a let's get press in the same building and bring them into the same place. But I think like their state of plays, like I think they're fine, but I don't think they're not really, I don't want to say not good enough to like announce something like a PlayStation 5, sorry. But like whenever I watch them, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I watched the VR one, I'm like, oh, there's a couple of cool games I'd like to get from a VR. And when they did The Last of Us, like, oh, it's cool. I saw some Last of Us, but there's nothing like what you get at a Nintendo Direct, where like there's so much talk and chatter like before, during, and after. So I don't know. We're not a Sony podcast, but I'm looking forward to PlayStation 5 and Xbox regardless. Whether we actually get them this year, I don't know.
We'll see.
I really don't know. It's a bit up in the air whether we even get those consoles, but
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, so I think it was a really good decision by the ESA to cancel E3 this year. It's disappointing, but there's a lot of disappointing things going on in the world at the moment with a result of this. But I want to bring it back to Nintendo, Bryce. So obviously we're going to get the digital event. Not much is going to change because of that. Maybe there's some games delayed or whatever because of what's going on. But the sort of the physical appearance they did have at E3 was their tournaments and things like that. The Nintendo Treehouse. What do you think this is going to look like? Are we going to see something similar? No,
absolutely not.
No. Well, obviously,
absolutely not.
Obviously, no physical tournaments. But what I'm saying is, what will there be something to replace it?
No.
No,
absolutely not. No, there will not be something to replace it. No.
I think they'll do something online, stream some thing on Twitch.
No. Absolutely not. Okay. Like I don't want to go back into the subject, but let's put it bluntly: they're canceling all these kinds of events around the world, whether they be whatever. They played at the cricket on Friday. They played a game of cricket to an empty stadium. Nobody's making money from this because they're not allowed to have those types of gatherings right now, like anywhere. So
yeah, but
but if they tried to do something online as well, it just does not make them money.
Yeah. But I'm not even saying like they have to have a tournament and stream it with no crowd or whatever. I'm just saying something as a replacement.
No. You're forgetting like a lot of people are working at home now because of this thing and all that stuff. They don't have the manpower all in the one room to organize something that's that big. That's why they've got like, the directs are a good thing and they can organize those things like from home. They've just got to send a file around a bit and do some touch work and editing and all that stuff. But you can't.
Yeah, if it's filmed, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these things that are like more eventful or like these things that they're going to try that are experimental, whatever they may be. You've got the directs that would happen at the Nintendo store. Like people would go and watch Smash Directs and stuff like that at the Nintendo store in NYC. Yeah, none of that stuff's going to happen. Like we're pretty much on an indefinite lockdown for a while, and that's what I meant by like it's going to affect the game industry, not just in the grander scheme of things, but in the things that are presumably in the shadows. Everybody's considering working from home now, until this thing gets something to quell it, because just thinking about it, swine flu and bird flu epidemics a while back. I don't think they were as serious as this one per se, but someone local here died of swine flu.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was...
Swine flu was pretty deadly, wasn't it? It didn't spread quite like this, but...
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The thing is that it was, deadly to the particular people, and that's the same thing with this thing.
Yeah.
But this one is far worse contained. So just looking at it from that perspective, like, it can happen anywhere, it can come at any time, and the best thing is to just be safest, and that, that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to work from home, and when these directs are necessary, that's when they'll start, pushing on, and, you'll have a lot of game developers that are putting out trailers for their game and stuff like that, but they're doing that from home and sending the files around to each other and making sure that it looks all neat and nice, and then it goes to Nintendo, they'll form a direct out of it, and that's how they get their PR, because they can do it completely from the comfort of a confined, isolated living space that doesn't have to do those things. But as in terms of like making up for the tournaments and stuff like that, there's no profit in it, so there's no point in overdoing it, I guess. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what happens in the upcoming months and what Nintendo and the rest of the gaming industry come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And, more importantly, see what happens to the world, what goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is another coronavirus story, Bryce. So this is from gamesindustry.biz. And Nintendo employees self-quarantine. The measures are taken after an employee in Richmond, Washington offices tests positive for the novel coronavirus. So Nintendo has told employees of its Redmond, Washington offices to self-quarantine after one of its workers tested positive for the novel coronavirus, according to the Hollywood Reporter. We have determined that the individual had contact with other employees, and we have notified those employees to the situation. All impacted employees are now self-quarantining, whether they are experiencing symptoms or not, the company said. Nintendo has also given its employees throughout Washington and California the option of working from home as a result of the pandemic. The Centers of Disease Control reports that Washington State has seen 457 reported cases of COVID-19, more than any other state in the US. So, obviously, this has had a big effect on sort of the Washington office at Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And it begs the question of how is this situation, people working from home and even just living in, even if they're not working from home in other sections of Nintendo, whether it's Japan or US or whatever, how is it going to sort of affect the development of the games, and when we might, I guess, see announcements and release dates moved and all of that type of thing? It's sort of hard to gauge because obviously we're not in the industry.
Yeah.
But it is definitely something to keep in mind, like, game development is not going to truck along like normal, like any other industry in the world at the moment.
No. Yeah. No. I think the main thing to be aware of is that, like, the cycle of development will not stop turning. It'll keep going as long as people can work from home. So you might see delays, but you won't see too many cancellations or anything like that. People will still be working on it from home because at the end of the day, this is people's jobs. They need to earn money from it eventually. So
what the questions I have, and I would love to sort of ask people that know, but we all know how secretive Nintendo is with its like people working in the treehouse, like they can't say anything whatsoever, and it's like that in other sectors of Nintendo as well. How does that work when you're forced to work at home? Are you able to just have those files as is and work on it as you would in the office, or are you more restricted? Or is there just like the trust factor? It's like if you leak this or something happens, you're gone.
It'd have to be the trust factor, because the thing is, it's like places like this are closing down for weeks to months at a time. So they don't really have a choice. They've got to work from home. And I mean, like, that's the way a lot of places are operating at the moment. Unless your job literally requires you to be out of the house to work, people are working from home because it's the safest measure.
Yeah. I'd imagine in the gaming industry, if you've got a good computer at home, you'll be pretty much set with a good internet speed to send files around.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's definitely something I've been thinking about as regards to just games I'm looking forward to. Not even just like, obviously, everyday life is something I'm thinking about a bit more, but just like, like that hasn't, like just thinking about Direct. There hasn't been a Direct in a while. I think it was just left because they wanted to push Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
But now we might see a more of a delay on a Direct just for the fact that it's harder to work on it. It's harder to get into the office to film it if it's not filmed. Games that were once coming out in April might not be coming out in April anymore. Like there's lots of implications of what this, could mean for the House of Mario. As in Nintendo, not us.
I just want to see Zelda come out at the end of the year still.
Yeah, that's another big thing. That is a huge game. Like hundreds of people are going to be working on.
Yeah.
So that is going to be probably
Please come out at the end of the year, please.
Yeah.
I need it in my life.
I mean,
In my life.
That was awful, Bryce. Get it.
No, that
I'm
was
gonna have to kick you off the podcast for that one. So this is another one from gamesindustry.biz, Bryce, and Pokemon Go temporary changes mechanics to reduce spread of COVID-19.
We're talking a lot about COVID-19, despite the fact about saying we'd keep it all in one bunch.
This is a little one bunch. It's at the start, then we're going to the fun stuff at the end. Oh God. So basically, Bryce, they I don't necessarily even have to read the article.
They're giving you incense.
They're giving you
cheap.
They're giving you incense for 1 cent, 30 incense, so you don't have to leave your home. And they cancelled Abra Community Day, which I was ready to go and catch some Abra, but
Too bad incense doesn't really do jack shit around here.
yeah, it doesn't bring in much, does it?
No.
No.
Doesn't do jack shit for us
Mind
at all.
you, there's always, whenever I turn on my Pokemon Go, there's always one Pokemon that spawns straight away at my house.
Yeah, one.
One. But that's without an incense. So if I try an incense, Bryce, it might be a hot commodity.
Incense used to do a lot when the game first came out. It used to pull you in about 7 to 8 Pokemon, no matter where you were, regardless of whatever. But if I pop an incense at home, I get nothing. And I live in town. I don't live out like in the bumfuck middle of nowhere or anything. They just don't come. So they're useless to me. Unfortunately, because they changed the way Pokemon Go works, it's really stuffed with the mechanics of the game, and that 1 cent for 30 instances probably still isn't worth anything to me.
Oh well. So if you live in the city, it might be good for you.
No, well,
I mean, I'm going to buy.
I'm sure it'd be great for you.
It'll pull in some stuff for me, but yeah, I don't know if it'll sort of replace the experience of walking about though to find stuff, because usually you find stuff pretty good at the Pokestops.
I actually stopped to play today.
Yeah,
because I saw a Charizard hatched.
Oh.
I went to fight it and I got fucking nowhere near. I'm like, oh well, see ya.
What was it? A 4 or 5 star? Was it
5-star raid?
5-star Charizard. Nice.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting this. Bye. Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah. No, it's very unfortunate, Bryce. I'm sorry, man.
There's not enough people in this town to play that stupid game.
You got me. I could have helped you take down a 5-star.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, last time we tried a raid, I don't think we got it 3/4 of a health. Yeah.
I mean, regardless of the impact of incense, whatever, it is good that at least Niantic are like, all right,
oh yeah,
we can't just have people running around playing this game. We don't want to encourage anything.
Yeah,
as far as the spread, so
it's good for people in cities where they can use that type of thing.
It is.
It's just not great for us.
It could be worse though. I could use it out in the farm and get literally nothing. So
well, hey, I use it in town and get literally nothing. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because they don't allow me to suggest Pokestops, despite the fact I'm like 4 years player.
If you're lucky, you might find a Rolts, Bryce.
Yeah, right.
So, all right, let's move out of virus talk. Let's talk about something you might actually be a little bit excited about, Bryce. So, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, I don't know why that took so much to get out, appears on the European Switch eShop. So, after the new Animal... And also, this article is from Nintendo Life. After the new Animal Crossing game launches next week, what's on the horizon for Nintendo? It's hard to predict. One upcoming Switch title that doesn't seem to be arriving very soon is Xenoblade Chronicles. Following on from both North American and South Korean last week, new ratings for the game have now popped up on the the eShop on the Europe and both Australia. I didn't see it on the Australian eShop. There you go. This follows on from a list. Oh, I just read that. Jesus. While the planned release date is still down as 2020, it seems like the game is pretty much ready to go at this point. In fact, not long ago, a Danish retailer also, with a known history of listing release dates ahead of schedule, updated the game page for this title to the 29th of May. So whether that means anything at all, that could be interesting.
Hope so.
You have your phone there, Bryce. Can you just look up what the 29th of May, what day that lands on?
29th of May.
Because if that lands on a Friday for us, that could be...
Well, in that case, it'd be a Friday for everyone, my friend.
Yes.
29th of May.
Yes.
Funnily enough, that's a Friday.
It's a Friday. So that
could very well be real.
That could very well be real, yeah.
Yeah. By anybody's logic and standard, who may be wondering what we're talking about, all of Nintendo's major releases land on Friday these days. Always, without fail. Like, Animal Crossing's a big enough example of that already, and that's coming out this week. It's on Friday. So, no, that could very well be the real date.
Yeah.
And that's exciting, because I want that game sooner rather than later.
Yeah, because obviously we don't know much about what's upcoming after Animal Crossing. As far as I know, we don't have anything for April. Then, if this is real, we've got something at the very end of May.
And that's good.
Yeah.
I want that game. I want to ingest it.
Yes, I'll pick it up and probably add it to my backlog.
Well, you still need to finish the second one yet.
I know.
Not even close.
Not barely even started, Bryce,
I know.
let alone close.
How much of a backlog do you have?
You look at my shelf, but it's all digital, my friend. You can't judge me by looking at my shelf.
No, I'll just have to pick up your Switch and judge you by the console in your hands.
Yeah, you will.
You fake gamer.
Yeah, I'm such a fake gamer. I don't even know what video games are.
What's a video game?
I like watching videos and I like playing Monopoly, but what is video game?
Oh, it's where you take a video on your cell phone of you playing a game.
Ooh, I do enjoy using my cell phone. Anyway. So, let's move...
Twitch.tv/Drew Agnew.
/Drew Agnew. Yeah, fair enough. So this is another news story from Nintendo Life, and this is all about the Mario Lego, Bryce. So...
Oh, God. Here we go.
So first of all, what do you think of the new Lego? That
it doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense, but I guess it's cool if you've got a decent imagination.
Okay.
Oh, and look at Mario. He's not even like a minifigure. He's just like this big blocky thing with a screen on him and expressive eyes. It's a little bit creepy.
Yeah, and you can see his heart through his chest.
Yeah, it's a bit creepy.
Yeah. Because when I first saw the collaboration between Lego and Nintendo, what I imagined was, it would be so cool to get like a set like Peach's Castle or like stuff like that to build. Mm-hmm. Similar to what like a lot of big nerdy Star Wars fans do, like they get the big ships, build them and display them.
Yeah.
I'd love to do the same for the Mushroom Kingdom or like whatever it is. So I was like, oh cool, I got excited about it.
Turns out it was not that.
But it seems it's more of like an interactive sort of level as like you actually go along and play the game.
Yeah.
So basically, like, you know, you hit the block and a coin comes up, and the idea is to get as many coins and that as possible as you go through the level. So it's very much like an interactive. It's more of a toy, really.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not for our demographic.
No. By far, no.
I'm a little bit disappointed because I was like, I want to buy it and just build it and display it.
I would just love to have like a minifigure set. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, just have it. Like Amiibo. It's just on your shelf. It's like, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's obviously to kids that are actually going to play with it and enjoy it.
And I mean, yeah, fair enough in some degree. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. It makes sense too because Nintendo makes video games, which is interactive. And I guess Lego's sort of thought was, let's make it interactive to sort of be more in line with Mario and Nintendo as a whole. But what do you think from the perspective of a father who's like, oh, my kid might enjoy this?
I think she will enjoy it, and I'll probably end up with it in some facet.
Yeah,
because she really likes Lego. Really likes Lego.
Yeah, and this is one of those stories that like dropped straight after last episode.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You fucking
like,
kidding?
God damn it, are you kidding me?
And I feel like it's going to happen again this week. Like,
Oh yeah.
we record on either a Saturday, or Sunday, or a Monday. Goes up Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that works well for us because we get the episode out. If we sort of slip up on the weekend, we do have Monday, then we've got Tuesday to put it up.
Yeah.
So it works well for that. And it also works well for Nintendo's release schedule. Comes out Friday. We get the weekend with it, and maybe Monday, a little bit Monday, and then it can go up then. So it works well for us there. But last week just really fucked us.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
It dropped like while it was uploaded, but it didn't go out to podcast services. Like,
Yeah.
it really did. It just nailed us.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
So, this is an article from Nintendo Life. So, first Mario, Zelda, and Metroid. Lego wants to create more Nintendo-themed sets. So, the article reads, "Don't get us wrong, the Super Mario Lego reveal earlier this week was great and all, but where are the Legend of Zelda and the Donkey Kong sets? That would be amazing. If you're still imagining what else Nintendo Lego could eventually come up with, good news, there seems to be a real chance of it happening. During a recent interview with Lego fan site The Brick Brothers, design manager at the Lego Creative Play Lab and digital design lead for Lego Super Mario, Jonathan Benedict, was asked if Nintendo's other series could eventually be transformed into Lego sets. While he couldn't share any specifics, he just said the Lego team was open to the idea. He said they have a lot of very exciting IP that we might do or might not do. So actually reading that, that's like such a nothing quote.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, not much of an article.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, they might do it, they might not do it.
How exciting!
Yeah. They went on to say we haven't worked for. Sorry, I'll go back in the article. Lego apparently hasn't worked with Nintendo for the past 4 years, just to release one wave either. It's going to be a long-term partnership with the Japanese game giant. We haven't worked for 4 years to release just one wave of products. We hope we have a long and fruitful relationship with Nintendo and their IP, and we are really looking forward to working with them long-term. So they're going to be working with Nintendo for a long time, and it seems like they've been working like a long time just for this one collaboration as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously things don't just come out thin air. It takes a lot of meetings and signing of papers and all that stuff. But 4 years is a very long time just about, all right, let's do a Mario set.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But I would love to see a Legend of Zelda set. That would be absolutely perfect. For Lego, being able to like build like your own, like, maybe even Hyrule Field and even like like Hyrule Castle and stuff like that. That'd be sick.
I just want to make a giant Hyrule Castle.
Mm.
Twilight Princess Hyrule Castle.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be so cool. And obviously, like Metroid would be really cool. Samus's ship,
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Star Fox. You know, it's
Build
pretty.
yourself a giant Metroid with like see-through bricks. You
Yeah.
can see like the core
Yeah,
on the inside.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Nintendo worked a lot with Kinects. I don't know about you, Bryce, but I loved Kinects as a kid. I thought they were a lot of fun. A lot of people like, hearing people like talk about this, like, oh, finally they're with like Lego, but they used to be with these other crappy build it toy manufacturers like Kinects and Mega Bloks. I'm like, hold the phone. Kinects was really cool. Especially like the ones that came with like motors in that. And you could make like Ferris wheels and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I loved Kinects, but
Kinects was good.
sort of representing like Mario characters through Kinects just looked weird.
Yes, it does.
I mean, not that Lego doesn't look weird either, but
It looks very strange.
it looks yeah.
It almost bugs me how Mario.
I wonder how much this like little tiny Mario figure is going to cost. Because obviously it's got
probably like $30 or $40 just for the figure itself.
it's got like Bluetooth and everything. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. So do you think you'll end up with this for yourself or for a kid or?
No, Evie will probably want it. No doubt. It's like two of her favourite things mixed together.
Big fan of Lego, is she?
She loves Lego. She watches the Lego movie too. She could watch the
Oh,
Lego
that's
movie
right.
too, like
Yeah.
all day.
You talked about that last time. You got the Lego movie game for your kid, yeah.
Because she fucking loves the shit out of it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm just going through the news stories here. So this one's from My Nintendo News, and it reads: Nintendo is working hard to secure more units of Ring Fit Adventure for retail. So the article reads: if you've yet to purchase the excellent Ring Fit Adventure for Nintendo Switch, and you have actively been looking for a copy, you would have noticed that the stock is extremely rare. Polygon contacted Nintendo of America to find out what the company is planning to do about this. The company says that they are working hard to ensure that more units are on shelves, and they apologize for the inconvenience to customers looking to purchase. It's not clear when stock will be readily available. So basically they're having trouble sort of bringing it to retail, and it's sort of a lot of it's because of the game's been going well, obviously with all this coronavirus stuff and the accessories and all of that. It's been hard to get your hands on it.
Yeah.
And it's when they first announced this game, it's not one of those titles you would have expected it to be a
big success.
Yeah.
Like it's really blowing up.
Mm.
And I'm actually more interested in it now after reading just like people's success stories, just like, you know, sort of just dedicating each day to like an hour or two of Ring Fit and like actually enjoying their gameplay experience while also losing a bit of weight and sort of just doing genuinely better for themselves. It makes me go, maybe I should try that because don't get much exercise otherwise.
Yeah, because it was one of those games where they announced it and I was like,
okay then.
It's good they're doing that again. Cool.
Yeah.
And like hearing people talk about it on other podcasts, and just even Seamus bought it the other day and he was talking about it when he came on. I'm like, it actually sounds like fun. And it'll probably, like for me, you know, I do a lot of cardio at soccer and works physical and all of that stuff. So I get like my fitness and whatever elsewhere. But how it would really benefit me is just like through the arms and the core, doing like sort of the more yoga exercises.
Yeah. And
having it like looking at the TV and actually you're thinking, all right, I've got to beat this monster. Like you're doing like your crunches and stuff like I really hate doing.
Yeah.
Like that is not fun. I love running, but I don't want to get on the ground and do sit-ups and like do that pose where like you hold yourself. Yeah. No fun, but maybe we should get Ring Fit and actually give it a go, Bryce.
I'm actually thinking about it.
Yeah.
I am actually thinking about it. We'll see.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that like blew up afterwards and is getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the big news story we missed last week. So this is also from My Nintendo News, and Reggie Fils-Aimé to join GameStop's board of directors.
Yes, he did.
So GameStop has announced that former Nintendo of America's president Reggie Fils-Aimé is joining GameStop's board of directors. Mr. Fils-Aimé's job will be to turn around the company's fortunes, which is clearly a huge challenge. Reggie joins Bill Simon and J.K. Simek. The board refreshment and governance enhancements announced today represent an important milestone in GameStop's transformation as we continue to evolve the company's business strategy for the long-term success. GameStop Chief Executive George Sherman said, "We are pleased to welcome Reggie, Bill, and JK to the board. They are each highly qualified and bring significant relevant experience to our turnaround. We look forward to immediately benefiting from the expertise and perspectives as we navigate the evolving gaming and retail environments, execute on our strategic initiatives, and prepare the company to maximize value creation associated with the next generation of console launches later this year." So when you first saw this news, Bryce, what were you thinking? Were you like,
I really hope that Reggie kicks the entire board up the arse and puts them into gear, because GameStop and by extension EB Games have been in a very greedy spot for many years. And to me, for the most part, apart from the fact that I pre-order from them from time to time, and I know that I'm not losing much value at the time, don't go. Because I can go across the other side of the mall and find whatever I'm looking for, usually cheaper. And it's usually like, you go over there or something. I'm like, I want to pick up a game that's like 6 months old. I'm like, like Nier, for example. I already got it on PC, but I wanted to play it on PS4. It's like, $30, or do I go over to EB Games and pay full price for it, $80?
Yeah.
Like, why? And unfortunately, that is just something that they do. And even just going like Nintendo games, which are infamously, they don't lower in price much. But if you go over to Big W, you can find games on Switch that are relatively cheap, even if you're just like, I don't have anything for my Switch, I need something to play on it. What can I pick up? It's like, you can pick up Monopoly for $25, or you can pick
Thank
up.
God.
You can pick up Mario plus Rabbids for $20, or you can pick up Pokken Tournament for $50, or just little things like that. Which, if you go over to EB Games, they're full price. Like, why? The kick in the ass that EB Games and GameStop need as specialty stores is they should be offering the best, because that is the product. That is what they're there for. Whereas if you go over to Big W and they're selling everything for cheaper, even though that's not their market, they just have those there as a courtesy almost, because if they've got an electronics section, why not? Like, why is EB Games worse on price if that's what it specializes in, is games?
Yeah.
And we take our games there, we trade them in for dirt cheap. They're obviously making a shit ton of money off them. Why?
Yeah, I definitely get your point, but the reason they can't sell them for the same price like a Big W or a Target or whatever is it's just like they buy the games in like just huge quantity, so they pay less for each copy. Rather, when EB Games, it's like small stores, it's more specialized, so they're paying more per game or per pallet or whatever.
Okay, but
so they have to charge more.
But by charging more, they're also losing customers. So it's literally a double-edged sword. If people were going there for their video games and they were charging similar prices, they'd probably be making more money out of it in the end, because they would have more customers.
Exclusively being a game store, though, it is harder to be competitive with these stores.
And their reward system's garbage.
It is garbage. Like, I get points. I don't even know what they do. I do nothing.
I haven't checked in a while, but last time I checked, out of 7,000 customers of our EB Games store, I'm near the top 50 of spenders in that store. The top 50. And that's only because I buy my consoles from there and stuff, primarily. I don't go over to Big W and all that, because I know typically what happens on launch day is people are fucking,
People are fucking.
Yeah, in the aisles.
Oh, so you don't want to go there.
They're lining up, and they're trying to get in because that's where they're cheapest. And to be honest, I just want to get in and get out with my console. I've put money away for it all year. A little bit extra, fine. And having a specialty game store for the things that don't turn up on Big W shelves is a good thing. So if I spend a bit of money there, they stay in business. That's fine, And that is why I'm one of the biggest spenders in that store. But like at the same time, holy shit, I should not be paying $80 for a game that is 3 years old on their shelves. That is stupid, and there's absolutely no reason that should be their policy.
Yeah. Well, EB Games is the only, in Australia, it's the only store I see $9.99 like
$99 prices.
Yeah, put on a game.
Yeah.
Whereas like all the other places just like, nah, we're not doing that.
No, because they don't sell anything that way, and that's exactly why they're struggling, and that's exactly why GameStop in America is struggling, because at the current stage, you can go on digital stores, pre-order, and get 10% off on there, and you don't even have to fucking leave your house.
Yeah, so that's the biggest competition they got.
Yeah,
like digital, like
I need people to have a reason to go buy them.
I buy my games digitally, so that means I don't go into their shop to buy the game. I don't have any secondhand copies to trade back to them for them to spin for a better price, and it's sort of what they're trying in America in GameStops is basically. They're doing like a whole host of different trials. In some stores, they're trying like more retro sort of approach. They can buy retro consoles and games. Other places are setting up like gaming lounges so you can come, pay some money, use their TVs and play games. Others are doing like a hybrid. Others are concentrating more on like the pop culture sort of merchandise, like you see with Zing in Australia.
Yeah.
Like half the store is Zing, half the store is, EB Games.
Yeah.
So they're trying like a whole heap of different things. And obviously none of it's really working, especially on the lead up to people embracing digital, because especially with the next consoles, with like say you got your Switch, it's easier just to download the games and have them to your SD card. You never have to swap anything out. If you want to play Mario Kart, then you're like, oh, let's play Jackbox. It's bam, straight to it. Oh, let's play Smash, bam, straight to it. Oh, I want to check my town in Animal Crossing, bam, straight to it.
I'm just going to hold you there for a second. I think that's great for Switch, but it's not proving to be good as we go on with other consoles because data's not cheap.
No, definitely not.
So,
but with Xbox, like for example, with Game Pass, you're downloading all of those games. You've got a huge library you're downloading. You're less inclined to go to a GameStop and be like, oh, I'm bored this weekend. What am I going to play? You might have your subscription, or you might decide to get your subscription. You download your games. You've got your backwards compatibility where you have the whole library just able to be downloaded. And if you've, I guess that is one aspect. You could get your Xbox 360 discs from GameStop, and put them into your console. But cool. So basically, back to Reggie. They sort of, I guess, he's on the board to sort of throw ideas. It's definitely not like a full-time job or anything for him. But what was interesting, I was listening to him talk. I forgot what the podcast was called, but it was the Cornell podcast for the university he's at.
Okay.
Or not the university, but it is university, but it was a college.
College.
Yeah, college. And hearing him talk on that podcast, he has like a huge passion just for the business side of things. He talked about his experience at Pizza Hut with the Bigfoot pizza, and how Pizza Hut used to be known for a better quality pizza. Mm-hmm. If you went to Pizza Hut, you're getting a nice
pizza,
rich pizza.
Yeah.
But with the Bigfoot, they lowered the price. So they basically lowered the price of the cheese, the sauce, the meat, and everything to compete with some of these other pizza chains coming up. And that was one of the decisions he made, to be like, all right, we need to compete. So he sort of did that, and that was a business decision that sort of made Pizza Hut continue its life cycle. And obviously we know the story at Nintendo, how he came in and sort of made his name made a bit more or made Nintendo's name be sort of more in line with not just family friendly but also other stuff, like in the age of the GameCube, Metroid Prime and all this, and how it was marketed. And obviously going on with the Wii and everything, and he just has a real passion for trying to fix business problems.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So just being on the board, throwing ideas about, probably getting a very nice paycheck while he's at it. It's interesting just to see him see what happens. See what happens with GameSpot, not GameSpot. Fucking Jesus,
GameStop.
Yes, stop.
Yes.
And I hope it works, because I don't, as many things we've got to say about EB Games, like, I don't want to see it go.
No.
The day EB Games closes in Mount Gambier, I'll be like pretty upset.
Yeah, because we already have hardly enough places to buy video games from now, because
Big W's the only one.
Target's gone. Kmart doesn't do them anymore because they weren't earning enough money off of them.
Yeah.
Big W is the only one. Actually, no, Harvey Norman do as well, but their game section is absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
No.
No.
And that leaves EB Games. And the thing is as long as EB Games has been in the mount, there has always been like those select few people running it pretty much all the way until today. Tia and John, I believe his name is.
I don't know the names, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's their names. They know me by name now. They don't ever say, oh, hey, Bryce, or anything like that. But when I go in there, they're like, all right, I know exactly who you are. Here's your EB card. You come in here all the time. I know you.
Yeah.
Right? And they run a pretty good store.
They do a good job.
They do a good job. But the only thing that sucks with EB Games as a business is that the price thing is an absolute pain in the ass. The thing I've been happy with the most these days was their new policy on trade-ins, which is if you trade in a game, right, to get store credit, whatever it may be, and you purchase up and buy a new game with that, but then you decide down the line in 3 months' time, you're like, oh, I really wish I didn't sell that game. You can actually go back in, you can repurchase that same game for the same amount you sold it.
Right. Yeah.
Which is awesome. That is an
nice.
absolutely fantastic way for people to sort of go in, get a new game, and then have a no regrets purchase. You know,
Because we've all done it.
oh, we've absolutely done it. Yeah,
This wasn't at AB Games. This was at the
Game Traders.
it wasn't Game
Into
Traders.
Games.
Into Games. It was a local shop.
Yep.
And I traded in 3 DS games. One was a Need for Speed game, which is pretty ordinary. Can't remember the other one, but one of them was Mario and Luigi's Partners in Time. I traded that in because I finished it, and that game has like no end-game content or anything. So
No, it doesn't. No,
And as a
but
kid,
it's an awesome game.
it's a fantastic game, and it's one of my favorites. And I traded it in just like money for the next thing because money's scarce when you're a kid. And that's one of the biggest regrets I've had as far as trade-ins go.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially now, like as far as systems that I collect games for, DS is one of them.
yeah.
And I don't have that game, and that game is expensive now.
It is. Yeah, it's not cheap.
It'll be like if you get it for $50, you'll be going well.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a freaking good game.
Yeah, and it's the same with its sequel too, Bowser's Inside Story. That game was only, I think it was only.
It was very limitedly printed. wasn't
Yeah, it was like a month most.
Yeah.
I can't believe how quick it was because when it came out, I was like, all right, I'll buy that when I've got the money.
Yep.
Had the money.
Never
It
bought
was gone. It was
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
It was so quick.
Yeah.
And I didn't want the European. I didn't want like the European box because they come in like the big, thick.
Big thick bastards. Yeah.
Yeah, they look gross. And the American one, that was before like I could import stuff. I didn't have a credit card and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. So man, so good on you, Reggie. Hope you turn some stuff around.
Yeah. Please, Reggie. Please.
Love of God, Reggie. Save
They need
save
to,
them.
They need to compete because one last thing before we end this off. What I was saying before was that it's great for the Switch that, you know, you can buy everything digitally and everything sort of fits on the one card, but games on those 2 new consoles are not going to be that easy because data's not cheap. You know, you might have 2 terabyte in a console, but that doesn't really matter when your games are going to be anywhere from 120 to 200 gig, which they already are
Yeah, I know.
on those things.
They're big boys.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare at the moment, now that it's got a battle royale in it, is like 200 gigabyte.
Yeah,
That takes out a quarter of my computer's hard drive. And to be completely honest, I'm about to uninstall it if it gets any bigger. I had a 90 gig update the other day. 90.
just an update, even. Yeah.
That's just an update, and that was for, you know, general balance patching and the battle royale.
Right.
That is absolutely insane. And, you know, that's where physical copies are going to sort of come back into the light, because we've had a pretty good generation where it's just like, well, all our internet's upgraded now, our storage is cheaper now. We're at this point, but now games are like triple in size when we've only doubled storage size, and download times are not getting any faster than what they were before. So now will be the time to buy physical again for those consoles.
Yeah, for those consoles, definitely. Obviously,
For the Switch, you don't need to, which I agree.
Yeah, obviously with Switch, the cards can only hold so much anyway. So
Yeah, but you can swap out cards like it's whatever.
yeah,
And I mean, like, even then, the games in general are just smaller, so it's not so hard to sort of just back out, delete something, you know.
yeah, re-download it, whatever. Yeah,
But these next consoles, it's not going to be that easy. So now is probably the time for physical copies to arise again.
yeah.
But-
The only problem with it on Xbox and PlayStation is like you put on that disc and that installs to your hard drive anyway.
I mean, yes, it
So
does.
it'll take
but-
up room. Then you have to download that probably 90 gig update
Well,
anyway.
I mean, it depends on how the next consoles handle discs.
I think they'll be pretty much the same. They'll go to the hard drive because with the PlayStation 4,
but
PlayStation 5, it uses the brand new SSD or whatever for loading times. So that game will want to be on the hard drive. It won't be booting off the disc.
Not all games will utilize that to 100% efficiency, though. Like, the thing is they're going to be utilizing the SSD and the disk to load data at the same time.
Yeah, so hopefully it takes a bit of the load off the hard drive.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Because otherwise, you know,
Hopefully.
if hard drives start dying in the first year, those consoles are dead. We need to have a broader talk about this down the line. But it is a case of like, because of the way that things have spread out and become a thing, you know, data's tripled. But, you know, what I said before.
Yeah.
It is probably the time for physical copies to rise up again. But for GameStop to take advantage of that, they really need to get in on it now and start setting up strategies to sell those physical copies.
Be like, don't want to wait for a download. Just come here and buy it.
Literally just can't. Yeah, and they need to start doing midnight launches all over again and all that stuff.
Yes.
And that is a huge problem down here. That is something they could, like EB Games here, could really capitalize on.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's the mall's rules or whatever, but they are really, losing potential revenue by not doing those things.
Yeah, it depends too, because like for example, if they just said, "Oh, midnight launch for Animal Crossing,"
I'm not saying stuff like that is going to do it, but stuff like Call of Duty and stuff like that, stuff they've historically done launches for, they've just stopped doing. And to be completely honest with you, they really should keep doing it because those people will go down there to get their quick copy of Call of Duty to go home play it.
Yeah, I do agree with you, but there's obviously some. I think just financially, just paying staff probably at those hours and maybe running the store and none of that probably would not be worth it. I would assume so.
Maybe not in revenue costs, but for the sake of store reputation, it's absolutely boundless in how beneficial it is.
Oh yeah,
that's why other stores around the country still do it.
Yeah, especially if in the US they're sort of trying to make it into like a community hub.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that will go a long way.
That's right.
Yeah, if they can break even on Call of Duty for launch night, but make their money selling copies the rest of the week and also getting people in there and doing trading cards and all that and spending money and buying stuff, like that is something to look at, yeah.
I still remember the night I went up there and picked up Modern Warfare at midnight. Like, I drove up in thunderstorms to go there.
Oh, Jesus.
I drove up in thunderstorms to go up there, pick up the game. I could have downloaded it at home if I wanted to, but I didn't. I went up there, drove up, got the game. We sat there. There was some pizza on the table. There was some energy drinks. There was some mini games to play that we were just, chucking a ball in a hoop. I got Jade a little Simba hat thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was good. It was fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun. But even in 2017, there wasn't a midnight launch for the Switch, for example.
No.
And there was a good lineup when we were there, wasn't there?
Shit, yes.
Yeah, like it was a very in-demand console.
Yeah. And like everybody else around the country was having I remember we were like, maybe we should just go to fucking Barrie. It's like 3 hours away.
Oh, that's right, because they were having one.
Yeah.
We were like, yes, because there was a big list and that was one of the only stores that wasn't.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we were like, maybe we should just go to fucking Barrie to pick up our consoles. Go pre-order it at Barrie EB Games and go pick it up there.
Because how far away is
Because at least
Barrie?
then we would have it in midnight.
It's like 3 hours away from us, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 hours. So if we left at 8:30, got there, and then came back home, we'd be playing our Switches at 3 a.m. anyway, and that's still 6 hours earlier than what the EB Games was open, which opens at 9 o'clock, and then we still have to drive an hour back. So that's 7 hours.
Yeah. Now, I know people out there like, oh, boys, that's a bit ridiculous. Why would you go that far and just only get 6 hours? But you got to understand.
It's an event.
You got to understand. We were shaking. We wanted our Switch.
It's an event.
We were excited.
It's not even just that too, but it's a whole event. And it's the same thing when we're talking about E3 or something like that. It's just that time of year or that time of a decade even where it's just like, holy crap, this is our video gaming for the next 5 to 7 years. This is big.
Yeah.
And it was the same with the Wii U. It's just unfortunate the Wii U flopped nuts.
Right, yeah.
It flopped nuts.
They didn't do a midnight launch for the Wii U, did they?
No. But
how many people were at EB Games to pick up their pre-order when you got yours? There was like none. There was like 3,
including something like that. Yeah.
And I'm because what I did is at the time Kmart had the Wii U for $50 cheaper than what EB Games had it. And I rang up EB Games and said, hey, will you guys price match the Wii U with Kmart? And they said, no. I'm like, okay.
So
I just walked past, got my pre-order, got my copy, or got the console from Kmart, walked back saying, oh, can I cancel it and just pick up my controller?
Yeah, exactly.
I felt really bad doing that, but I'm like, $50 difference, guys. I can't.
Yeah, that's a bit, yeah, it's a bit silly.
That's a game, man.
Yeah, that is literally a game. And I know that wasn't much at the time, actually out on the Wii U, but it was still a game. I still remember picking up my 3DS and being like, well, $350, holy shit. And then, a year later, they were like, oh, better cut this thing by $100. It's not
slash it by 100. Yeah.
And holy shit, it was like, wow, I feel like a chump now. Holy shit. And then they were like, yeah, here's 10 free exclusive Game Boy Advance games. I'm like, all right, yeah.
It worked. They got us.
And hey, I was fine by that. I got exclusive Game Boy Advance games. I wasn't complaining.
No
way. And I've still got them on my 3DS somewhere.
Yeah, I do too.
It's good. It's good.
So good.
Yeah.
So this is a story from gamesindustry.biz, Bryce.
I'm guessing we're going to fill out the rest of this episode with just
Yeah, there's a fair bit, eh? So gamesindustry.biz says Nintendo wins patent dispute against GameVice. Do you remember GameVice? Or
with their shitty, was that the shitty Switch knockoff?
yeah, basically it's like the things you put on the side of your phone.
And everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
It's like, guys, calm down.
Yeah, you're thinking a bit too much. Yeah.
So Nintendo has been triumphant in defending itself against claims that the Switch's Joy-Con controllers infringe on patents owned by GameVice. The mobile accessories firm filed a lawsuit back against Nintendo back in 2018. Claiming that the console hybrid copies ideas from its own detachable controllers for smartphones and tablets. However, the patent trial and appeal board has invalidated all 19 of GameVice's claims against Nintendo, according to Law 360. GameVice does not contest Nintendo's showing that these dependent claims are unpaintable, nor does GameVice offer any other argument or evidence in support of paintability, the board says.
They probably can't afford it.
No. This was the second time GameVice had taken legal action against Nintendo following an investigation by the International Trade Commission. However, this was closed in October 2019 after Nintendo was cleared of infringement. GameVice is appealing this decision.
They literally just want money, don't they? Like, I remember YouTubers actually approached these guys on this, and they went and they're like, "Oh, bro, can I have a look and whatever?" And you know, they played around with it, and they were just like, "So why are you trying to take Nintendo to court? It's not the same thing." And then they were literally like, "Give me that, go away." They were like angry
that's
about
right.
it.
Yeah, they were like
really
down,
shitty about it. They were super shitty about it, and it's just like, well, it's like, no, it's not the same thing. At the end of the day, like, Nintendo uses their own proprietary hardware to run this shit. It's not for your Android business. You literally have your own business for Android controllers. It doesn't infringe on you at all.
It seems to be the bit Nintendo's like patented and really sort of tries to protect is like the rail system on the Switch.
Yes.
That's what they sort of patent. And what it is like, it's their idea that how it locks into place, how it connects, how the power is transferred between both the controllers at once.
Yeah.
And it's just completely different to this thing that just a phone slips into, and it's still Bluetooth.
Yes.
It hasn't copied any of these connection ideas
That's the thing.
Joy-Cons are using.
Bluetooth is not a patent.
Yeah, exactly. Like
You
it's
know? Everything has fucking Bluetooth. Everything.
Yeah.
You know?
And like there's a lot more mobile companies that are making these sort of accessories for mobile phones as well.
Yeah,
Like,
shit.
it's not just Nintendo making their own console, it's just other things. Like you go into an Apple store and there's heaps of them.
Do you think maybe that they were trying to like solidate money off of the fact that, you know, it's a similar enough idea to us that we can sort of just take away from them and, you know, going, we got some money out of Nintendo, which obviously was going to affect the shit out of Nintendo if it went through and they passed and they won. But, you know, in reality, a lot of people these days that do buy gaming controllers for mobile, at least even in my experience as of recently, I've literally just bought a mount for my PlayStation 4 controller. And I just use my PlayStation 4 controller because now Xbox and PlayStation 4 controllers work on Android and Apple.
Yeah.
Like, I literally buy a $20 mount. I don't have to buy another $100 controller.
No, and the benefit to that is I'm sure your PlayStation controller feels a million times better than
one of them
a GameVice.
fucking, yes.
Yeah, because like none of them feel nice.
No.
Like in the Apple store, I was playing with one, and like the sticks, like the amount of travel on them is just huge.
Yeah.
Like they tilt like so much. Like they don't feel nice compared to what you're used to playing on
an actual controller.
The major three controllers.
And I mean, I've been using the PlayStation controller at home on that with the phone on the mount, and playing games off Steam Link, so from my computer to my phone, and it's been perfect. It's been fine, like no arguments whatsoever. So that could be a business killer for them of people literally just buying mounts for these controllers where they don't have to, invest a shit ton of money just making this thing work. They can just use what they've got at home with them out. It's a dying business for them.
Yeah. Just back to your question of like why do you think they sort of went after Nintendo? I would be interested whether it's like they actually saw it and went, hey, this is
our idea.
This is our idea, or they just saw it and go, hey, we've actually got a case where we could get a bit of money out of Nintendo. And like...
That's just what it strikes me as. It's the same thing, was it with the Wiimote?
Yeah.
When that case was going down?
The technology behind it. And that actually, Nintendo lost.
Yeah, I know they lost that. But at the same time, like, it just feels like they would change... Because the case was not for, like, years and years after the Wiimote.
Oh, yeah. It was like in the Wii U days.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
And, like, is that literally just, like, they looked at it and they're like, all right, we're going to chase them down. Like, after 7 years, they're like, we really need the money.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't remember, like, when that case was filed or anything. But, yeah, it got finished up a lot after the Wii. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But, yeah, it's good to see Nintendo came out on top, I guess.
Oh, well, yeah, they didn't deserve this one. I don't know how much they deserved the Wiimote one, but they definitely didn't deserve this one. This one was a completely different case. It's not like that Nintendo was going off after their market in mobile phone gaming.
Yeah.
No, it was their own proprietary hardware they were using for their own proprietary hardware.
Yeah, it's not like another accessory if it's going to be
Absolutely
compatible with the
smash
same
them out the
phones
water.
they're going after. Yeah.
I mean, those controllers don't even, like Switch controllers don't even work with Android phones, as far as I know, at least not without some serious tinkering. So, yeah. At the end of the day, they didn't deserve to lose, so they didn't lose.
No. All right, Bryce, that's all the news.
Holy crap.
Holy crap. So, Bryce, if you want to bring up that webpage I sent you.
All right, we'll talk about that real quick.
Well, we've got a bit to talk about yet, Bryce. We've got a bit to talk about yet, mate.
Jesus Christ.
I'm keeping you here for a while.
It's an hour and 36 minutes, man. Holy crap. Let's go.
Bryce, we're having a good time here. So this is brought to you by Vooks.net. So this is the new releases on the Nintendo eShop in Australia.
Okay.
So if you're in... you start off, Bryce.
Okay. So we have A Street Cat's Tale by CFK.
We have... so we'll take it in turns. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Outer's Blood.
Alder's Blood from No Gravity Games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Arcade Archives, Kiki Kakai by Hamster.
We've got Brotherhood United. I'm not going to say the names of all the studios. It's just...
Fine, I'll say them. Celestia Games.
Oh.
Dead or School by Marvelous Europe.
Half Past Fate by Way Down Deep.
Hidden in Plain Sight by Adam Sprague Games.
Invento by 7 Levels.
I missed one. Hidden Through Time by Crazy Monkey.
Oh, sorry. Jump Step by Hidden Trap.
My Hero One's Justice 2 by Bandai Namco, and subsequently My Hero One's Justice 2 Deluxe Edition by Bandai Namco.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't want to have to read that out, you know. Mm-hmm. Mystic Veil by Nomad Games.
Neon City Riders by Bromeo.
Nin Days by Curity.
Create, I would say. So it's supposed to be create, but it's with a Q-U.
All right, there you go.
Create, yeah.
It's way too smart for my dumb brain.
Well, I was looking at it earlier and thinking, create. That's interesting. Overpass by Nacon.
Poly Puzzle by Forever Entertainment.
Rack and Ruin by Secret Item Games.
Rainbows, Toilets and Unicorns by Fantastico Studio.
Round Guard by Quantum Astrophysicist Guild.
Shadows by Ultimate Games.
Super Destronaut Land Wars by Ratalaika Games. There you go. That one was hard to say. Ratalaika.
Cider Reloaded by Studio Evil.
Talisman Digital Edition by Nomad Games.
Translation. Yeah, I think you need a translation after what I just said. By Balturo Games.
And Video Poker at Aces Casino Digital Game Group by Digital Game Group. Holy crap. What?
And Yoga Master by My World.
My World.
Bryce, pick a game and we'll read out the description.
Crap, none of them absolutely.
Yeah, none really stand out to me.
No.
But I'm going to go for Nin Days. So I'll click on that, wait for it to load up. What are you going to go for?
Dead or School, why not?
Well, Ninja Days looks a bit sexy. Jesus. Look at this picture.
Oh, crap.
It's a girl just with not much on.
Yes. Yes, it does.
So,
Yeah.
in this romantic adventure game set in Akihabara, you'll laugh and you'll cry over the entertaining lifestyle of a slightly erotic female ninja and the main character's cohabitation. So the story. So it just says story. Known as only as ninja, these mysterious mercenaries have worked in the shadows of history from ages past. Oh, there's like a dot on my screen. I thought it was a dot point. Dealing in espionage, secret plots, and assassination. The ninja brought posterity to Dominio and federal lords from the shadows.
Feudal lords.
In the village of their ancestors, ninja continue to leave for training, as is tradition. However, due to a lack of requests for work, the village has become nothing but a small gathering of houses in the mountains. From this village that Samurai was commanded to leave, with orders to train in the city by her father, the village chief. So it sounds very exciting, Bryce.
Holy crap. What?
So looking at some screenshots. I mean, the art looks pretty, but I think it's like
It's probably a visual novel.
looks like a visual novel. It's got like the text and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the art looks pretty. If you're into like anime and big boobs, I guess $9.90 you'll get you that.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are you going for?
Dead or School.
All right. Hit us up.
All right, man. I'll bring it up. Hang on. There we go. Took ages to come up. So, almost a similar thing, but I suppose I don't expect... I suppose I don't almost expect anything different from Marvelous Entertainment.
It's a good day for weebs. Good week for weebs.
Yeah, that's right. So...
That's right.
Join Hisako and fight hordes of undead to defend her right to a normal school life in the 2.5D zombie-infested adventure Dead or School. Join Hisako's fight for survival against a zombie infestation overrunning Tokyo and defend her right to a normal school life in this fast-paced 2.5D adventure. Forced into isolation underground by the zombie apocalypse, Jesus, that's hard to say fast, Hisako has little understanding of the world above. After hearing stories about schools above ground, Hisako dons her grandmother's school uniform and takes up arms against the undead horde with one goal in mind, to become a schoolgirl.
Of course.
Travel across Tokyo, visiting iconic locations such as Shinjuku, Asakusa, and Roppongi, using the subway system, and take on gruesome bosses in both close quarters and ranged combat. Upgrade Hisako's weapons and abilities for even more destructive force and find collectibles that will reveal the truth behind the zombie apocalypse. Will Hisako be able to find salvation at school, or is the world just dead? Find out in Dead or School.
Fantastic.
It is 2.9 gigabytes. It is for the Nintendo Switch, and it is one player.
Oh, how much does that bad boy cost?
$45.
Ooh.
Apparently.
What are the screenshots? Look like it's worth $45 for you?
It's a 2.5D scroller with some visual novel elements by the looks, and it just looks like a scrolling beat 'em up.
Okay.
It doesn't look that bad.
So if you want to be a schoolgirl, that is the game for you.
Yeah, there's that, yeah. And then if you want to apparently don your grandmother's school uniform.
Your grandmother's school uniform.
Yeah, that's what it said, yeah.
Yeah, now think about that. It's even weirder.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's the typical, like, anime school uniform where you're just like, oh, you know, so it must be set pretty far in the future if it's, it's a grandmother's school uniform.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. It's a bit revealing.
Well,
I didn't say it actually, but I assume it was.
It was all ripped and whatever.
No.
But like I said, I don't think I expected much different from Marvelous, I guess.
Yeah. No.
Marvelous.
Just that's marvelous.
Marvelous.
So, Bryce, I don't want to keep you here too much longer, but we're going to go to Reggie's rec room just for a sec. I know he's busy at GameSpot, but he's
I was going to say we kind of got to serve our own drinks if we go in there.
I said GameSpot again. He's come from GameStop. I don't know why I'm doing it so often. Usually I'm not so bad at it, but
oh boy. All right, yeah. Okay.
I mean, I didn't even have an article from him this week, so I kind of yeah. So let's jump into the room, Bryce. Let's see what's going on.
Hi,
Nintendo fans.
Reggie here.
Reggie here.
Thank you for your
never-ending support.
For giving
Bryce,
me
you reckon
a
it, mate?
mushroom kingdom full of incredible memories that I
Look, he's not here. I'm trying to fill in.
He's right there. You're acting like he's not there, and he's just like right there. You know how rude that is? You know how rude that is? Speaking over Reggie?
He's at GameSpot, remember?
He's executive editor at GameSpot. He's just there typing on his computer like, oh, this Nintendo game is very good. Oh.
Yes, Nintendo. I worked there.
Why did you give Star Fox Zero such a bad score? That game was great.
Great game.
Great game.
Wii U gamepad.
We didn't sell as many units as we wanted to. Would have been nicer to sell more.
All right, Reggie, we love you.
We do love you, Reggie. All right, so in a few days, Bryce, Animal Crossing New Horizons is coming out on Nintendo Switch.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
You're correct. Yeah.
I am correct.
It's a couple days away.
Yeah. So we're recording this on a Monday when we're sort of waiting for the Friday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. Yeah. So
Yeah.
3 days. 3 days to wait.
So let's talk about sort of our history with the series. Like, however sort of light it is or heavy it is.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you sort of, how do you see the series, and what was one of your first Animal Crossing games?
The first one I personally owned, or the first one I personally played?
Bit of both.
Okay, well, we, as a friend group, we all discovered Animal Crossing at the same time, literally. Like, obviously, the first Animal Crossing was on 64 in Japan, did not happen here.
Yeah, because we didn't get the N64 DD.
No.
So, yeah.
And then it happened on the GameCube, and that was, sort of like a grey area for most Australia, I'd like to think. I don't know a shit ton of people that owned GameCube. I knew enough.
I knew like literally a handful of people with a GameCube.
Yeah, but so many more with the PS2.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's at the end of the day, and that's where you got to compare it to. It's like those handful of people had the GameCube, sure, but a shit ton of them owned the PS2. And Animal Crossing was one of those things where it was just exploring its reaches in English territory. And obviously, it's far different to most things that sort of come out on Nintendo console at that point. They're all sort of like, get to a goal, finish a thing, whereas Animal Crossing was like, this is your life now. But for us, at least, and I know it's definitely for you, because you were the one that sort of dragged us all into it.
Yeah, I felt I was the one who introduced you, like
all of us,
the whole
group, and that was Wild World.
Yeah.
And that was a good game. That was a really good game.
It was a good game, yeah.
And I played the crap out of it. And like I know that like there are small criticisms with Wild World, but limitations at the DS and all that, I think is the biggest thing to sort of blame that on. But obviously that was the first one I played. I never owned it. I borrowed it off of you and played a bunch, and we sort of just did our thing. And it wasn't so much a permanency game back then either. Like we ended up just resetting our towns and shit all the time and whatever. And it didn't feel like, because I think that was probably one of the big problems with Wild World, is it did not feel like a permanency game as much as, say, New Leaf did, where it made much more of a difference.
Yeah.
If he held on to the same town. Then that was the first one I owned, was a New Leaf, and that was a really good game too. And that's probably the only Animal Crossing I've owned.
Yeah, and
personally,
those are the two I've owned as well. Like with Animal Crossing, I remember seeing it in Target Country. For those that don't know,
you own the Wii.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
What?
No, I never. I'll get to it.
Okay.
So Animal Crossing, I remember seeing it in Target Country, and for people who don't know what Target Country is, it's basically like a real small Target for like small country towns. And back then, they don't anymore here, but they had like a small game section. And I remember seeing Animal Crossing on DS, and I was like after a new game, and I saw Animal Crossing, and like the artwork of all like the cute animals and that just on like the world, sort of as an Animal Crossing Wild World sort of art, or box art. Like it just drew me in, and I wanted to play it. And I did like a little bit of research on it, but I really didn't know anything about it. What it was. I hadn't really played a game like that where it's just like living necessarily before.
Yeah.
That was one of the first games I sort of played where it was in that genre. And I got it and I just fell in love with it. And thinking back to it now, it's probably like the last game which I bought, which I didn't know what it was. Like when we buy games now, we generally know what it is. With reviews are literally at our fingertips. We've probably watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and with that game, it was just like purely. I got into that series just purely like, I'll give this a go. I really don't know what it is, but
is that before the Wii?
Yeah, 2005, Wild World came out.
Wouldn't have Zelda been the next thing then?
I mean, but I knew from you that was a good.
Oh, okay.
That Zelda was good. Animal Crossing, I literally like.
Right.
I
get what you mean now. Yeah.
Like I just went in and said,
no idea. Yeah. None of us did.
Yeah, no idea. And I really, really love that game. I just like played it while like watching TV. I really love fishing in Animal Crossing. That's one of my favorite things, is catching new fish, collecting things and all that. And it was my first experience with like real time as well. Obviously, if it was like past 9 o'clock, Tom Nook's shop would shut, and I got 10 minutes to go, and like just like the dread running to the shop trying to like sell all my stuff so I don't have like full pockets, and I can actually get some bells and buy some stuff and all that before the shop shut. And that was it's just really good memories. And one of my friends, Olivia, she was like the only other person
into Animal Crossing.
Yeah, into Animal Crossing. And she's really into Animal Crossing. She's going to be all over New Horizons, no doubt, by the end of the week. But a really, really special game. And when Jordan Gray, like, he got into it and he got City Folk on Wii. And I never actually got the Wii version because pretty much that game is very similar to Wild World. They only introduced, like, obviously it had better graphics and there was like hills and stuff in it rather than just like flat that it was on the DS. But apart from that, it was pretty much the same game, apart from being able to go to the city and have access to different shops, really.
I picked up that game in the Wii Speak for like $15.
Yeah, it was real cheap like there for a bit, wasn't it? Yeah. But I never picked it up because that game was it was so at home on a portable system, and I was happy just playing it on DS. So I never played it. I never got that one. And obviously the next one was New Leaf, which I dare say most people have played it. So
it was the revolution for Animal Crossing.
It's a huge seller for the 3DS, one of the best-selling games on the system, and really loved it. But unfortunately, I feel like what happened with Animal Crossing is I had a big love for it from the DS version, and when it came to the 3DS, I was like, yes, it's back. It looks better. It's got Street Pass. It has way more features. You're the mayor. You can really customize your town a lot more. So, you bought it. A lot of our friends bought it. But everyone fell off of it pretty quick. And through that, I fell off of it quick as well.
Yeah.
Whereas, I would have probably played it until Switch or so if I was just playing it by myself. But since everyone else fell off of it, I sort of like fell off of it as well.
I think just at the time as well, we were sort of, we were getting older and we were doing different things. The time we picked it up, we went to AvCon. That's when I got it as well. Yeah. Because everybody sort of pitched in and bought it for me for driving.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's with Jacob and that. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And, I really wanted to get in on the action too, but I drove to AvCon and I didn't have the money for it, so... and then everybody pitched in and bought it for me. And I played it for a while too. And then it was just sort of like, I think we were at that stage in our lives where, we were all sort of moving forward. People were taking the gap year from going to uni and whatnot. And
because what year was it? Was it 12 or
2012 or 13? Yeah.
Must have been 13 because I knew Jacob. I didn't know Jacob in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just like, it was one of those years where, I guess we had a lot of time because, like, especially not so much you, but I was just freshly out of school and I spent like a lot of time doing social things, whereas I didn't play as many games, I think. I'm trying to think back, but like looking back, it is disappointing, but I kind of did miss that game. I didn't like experience everything that game had to offer, and that game had a lot to offer. But I guess through that, like, it's been a long time since I've been deep into an Animal Crossing game, and that is a lot of the reason why I'm really looking forward to this one on Switch. It's a system that I pick up a lot, and back when I was playing Pokemon Quest, where I was picking it up every day, doing the grinds and that, and I really enjoyed having the game where it's like, oh, I should pick it up and do a quick thing. I was like, where's Animal Crossing? I need Animal Crossing on this thing right now because this is what I feel like right now. Pick it up.
What I need.
Yeah, pick it up, and you can spend half an hour in it just talking to your villagers, keeping them happy, getting some equipment and doing whatever. Or you can spend 4 hours there and you just like go fishing, do this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to just really mucking around with it, and especially now we're a bit more in tune with like online communities and stuff, whether it's through say Nintendo Guru's community where he's really into Animal Crossing, and we'll have a big community just talking about it and go into each other's villages, or even our own where we can go into the Discord and hopefully invite people to our island and have fun with all that stuff. Just really looking forward to it, man. What's that?
I'm just going to be immature for a second. I'm going to name my island Dookie.
Okay.
So I've
actually got no idea what I'm going to call my island.
So I can get into trouble on Dookie Island. And if you don't get that, holy crap, you need to listen to More Lonely Island. I'm immature as shit.
Yeah, Lonely Island. It's a good laugh. But I must
Trouble on Dookie Island.
I remember listening to like those guys so much. And then it like came on randomly on my old iPod. And I remember just cringing at it. I'm like, oh.
No, I
don't know what that says about me, but
maybe you feel like you've grown up a bit more, but I just think I like, because I've sort of consistently consumed their media for a while, like the movie Popstar. That was a fucking funny movie.
Yeah,
it was a really good movie, and that was by them and everything.
I mean, like, I still laugh so much at the line. I forgot what the name of the song was. It's like
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You watch any Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah, I've watched a little bit.
Okay, that's the thing. It's like I've still got all that humor in my system from them because I watched these things done by them.
Yeah.
And they're worth a watch.
I still remember the line of the song where it's like, I'm not going to do the actual like singing of it, but it's like a girl hands him his phone. It's like, oh, it's your dad. It's like, it's not my dad, so I threw it on the ground.
It was
what's that song called?
At the farmer's market with my so-called girlfriend.
Yeah.
She hands me her cell phone, says it's my dad. Man, this ain't my dad. This is a cell phone. I threw it on the ground.
It's just so that just cracks me up. It's like, that's not my dad. That's a phone.
It's exactly what it's called, by the way. Threw it on the ground.
Threw it on the ground. Yeah, no, that's a great song. It's a great song. So yeah, Animal Crossing. Looking forward to getting back into it because it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like mid high school where I've like really gotten into it. And even if you're smashing out New Leaf, like it's still been years since then.
Yeah.
It's been pretty much like 7 years between games in the series.
And those of you who are still playing New Leaf since the start of that, and you're moving on to the next title, you have to wave goodbye to your old town.
Yeah. And I feel like this game is gonna be a smash hit on Switch.
I'm looking forward to it because
it's gonna be big.
The thing is that I'm really excited about is that it's not just shit better earn some bells, shit better go buy an axe, shit better. It's literally like use what you got around you, and it's that Minecraft mentality, but it's not so daunting.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more creative.
You've got a smaller space to work with. You don't have to worry about being killed by a creeper and losing your shit. It's just calm, and that's, I think that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, it's shown that you can get chased by a tarantula. So that's not calm, bro. That's scary.
Yeah, but you get bit by them or something. It's like, owie, I've got a tarantula bite. Ouch. Whereas, like, in Minecraft, it's like, oh my god, a spider's chasing me. I've got my diamond pickaxe on me. I don't want to lose that shit. Oh shit, it killed me. And as I died, my diamond pickaxe has fell in the lava and been destroyed. God damn it. It's not that complicated.
No.
It's like being chased by bees in Animal Crossing games. It's like,
I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to getting into that and just like really like changing my island to how I want it.
Yeah,
Because, like, you know, me coming from Wild World, you had, like, none of that.
No.
Like, every now and again, I would...
You would pick weeds.
Yeah, you pick a lot of weeds. And I see that your weeds can actually be used to for crafting now. So they're actually got a reason.
Yeah.
But in Wild World, you could put patterns on the ground. That was when they introduced sort of being able to draw patterns with the bottom screen. And you could put patterns down. And when I went to some towns, and some people just, like, completely changed their town with patterns. And they did some pretty incredible things, but you can only do so much. But now it's like, there's going to be some incredible islands out there. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so expect a lot of Animal Crossing talk next episode when we have a good
hands on it.
have a good weekend with it. Yeah, hopefully. Yes. Yeah. So Bryce, that's the end of the show. I'll let you go home after almost 2 hours. 2 hours
Now.
Yeah. Yes. All right.
Beautiful boy.
So Bryce, hello. How you going?
Good.
And we'll start the episode again.
Oh shit.
No, everybody.
Groundhog Day.
Everybody, thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario episode 135. If you'd like to follow the show on Twitter, you can follow at the House of Mario. You can follow me and iDruby, and you can follow Bryce at
IV Revan.
And if you'd like to help us with algorithms and all of that thing, you can go to iTunes or whatever your podcast platform of choice is and leave a review. It helps the algorithms, as I said, and it also helps my heart glow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
135 episodes. Have we asked that every episode? Almost every episode. Like, holy crap, man. That's a lot of time.
Yeah, there's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. If you've been watching this show since episode 1 and you haven't left a 5-star review and you know, a written review, what's wrong with you?
As Reggie would say, what is wrong with you? Like, seriously. What?
That's all right. That's the fun of it.
Yeah, it is. So, Bryce, this week's Nintendo Jukebox is by Noteblock, and it's Animal Crossing New Horizons Animal Crossing NH Remix. So,
beautiful.
Just wonderful. So, until next week, the doors to the House of Mario are closed. Catch you later.
Boy.